What up, Macho? It's been some time, man.
It's been a while, brother. It's been a
Pour
while.
myself a drink. Cheers to this.
Cheers. I got my cafecito here in my fake news network cup. You see that? Peep that?
Okay. I got like
Mm.
an apple whiskey mix I did here.
What you mean an apple whiskey? What you got there?
I got some apples, some bitters in there, lime. I try to follow a little
Wait a
recipe. I'm
minute.
not you though.
Wait a minute. Wait a
I'm
minute. Wait a
not
minute.
you though.
Wait a minute. Break it down. Break it down. Like, what do we got? Do we have what kind of
I
apple
got
whiskey we talking about?
I got some bourbon. I
Okay.
put some apple juice in there,
Oh,
concentrated apple juice.
okay.
All
Okay.
right.
Okay.
I did some agave in there.
Okay. Okay. Little
Yeah.
agave.
I mixed it up in there. What else did I put? Oh, and I put a scoop of lime juice, just a
Hold
random
on.
recipe I found online.
Let's show this. Marlon's in the house. Marlon, how you doing?
Yo, what up? What
This
up?
guy is a real champ here, man.
What's
He's
going on,
really
everyone?
diligent. He is consistent, and he's been a solid conservative on TikTok app, and really inspired by him.
Oh, that's
We're
what's up.
gonna explain. We're gonna explain what we mean by goodbye, Marlon. So yeah,
Yeah. Let's get to this right quick. I see Felicia's in the building too, asking some
we
questions.
got
What up, everybody?
Ninja's
Glad
here.
everybody's joining. This is what's up. I love it, love it. So,
Felicia, look, Felicia got the
so
angry
basically,
face. Look at her face.
we actually looking at this as good news. We're pretty excited about this, right? So, as y'all know, I've been out the picture on TikTok for a bit, but Macho and I have been game planning behind the scenes. And today we're really gonna break down our journey, where we at now, and the revamp of this vision and where we're going. So yeah, it's literally goodbye for now. We still on it. Macho and I still working together. We still the dream team, you know what I'm saying? We still making stuff happen, but we're just revamping some of this vision, and we'll get to some of those details now. We won't go into all the weeds of how everything is gonna look, but stay tuned because behind the scenes we've been working on like how do we give ourselves an edge? Where do we go to a niche? Where do we provide more value for the viewers? Right? We're really asking these questions,
Right.
and I would say, Macho. I don't know if you agree with this sentiment, but the learning has been insane and the excitement is probably higher than ever. So just so people can know, it's not goodbye. We kind of been learning a whole lot, and we're like, yo, I think we got a niche that we could focus on, but it's going to take some time to prep into that transition. What you think
Um,
about my breakdown there, Nacho?
I yes, we've definitely learned a lot. I mean, we started this in October, 2021. I want to address something really quick before Marlon probably has to dip out. He's asking if we're free next weekend to chat on his show. We'll definitely get to
Okay.
that
Yeah, let's
question there,
follow up with
Marlon.
him on that. Yeah.
Definitely, we'll link up on TikTok right there, get that whole thing set up and squared away. But yeah, we've been doing this show since October 2021. I remember I reached out to you months prior, and I've been dying to do a podcast, and I liked what you were doing before with
Mhm.
McAllen and friends, and I think that it was premature that you guys stopped because I think you guys would have been major, by now.
Yeah. That's
You
a
and
podcast I
your
had before, by the
previous,
way, guys. Thanks for
yeah,
mentioning
you
that.
and your previous partner. I'm the better partner now, though. So
Yeah. You're the OG of the house now. You're my
nah,
man.
Eric is a good guy. He's a good guy, and we're probably gonna get him on the show at some point. I hope.
Oh yeah, for sure, for
And
sure. 100,000%.
I want to make sure I say publicly that Eric, I'm the new guy now. So just let me.
Yeah.
But
So no,
anyways, we linked up, and we wanted to get something going. We started fooling around with stuff in September. We did Instagram lives. We did stuff on StreamYard, and then we moved from there. And I think that we've learned so much in a vacuum, Savory, that how
yeah, for sure.
this whole thing works. Like, dude, it was like hitting us all at once.
Mhm.
We and you blew up on TikTok. Like, it was crazy. Like, the minute you hit the scene, like, you blew up on TikTok, and I've been steady growing. I don't have that kind
I'm
of
MIA now,
success.
guys, but promise I'll be back.
So,
I keep saying
but
that, but yeah, most definitely.
we realized something, Savory. What was that? What is it that we realize at this current juncture in life? What did we
Yeah.
realize in the
So
short drinks with a nobody history?
yeah. So that's a good question, and we want to share this with everybody. So we realized something, right? we're doing a lot of things that, we're enjoying the conversations and all that, but what we want to do is we want to have some impact, build that community, and really like show people like, all right, how do we involve people in a more meaningful way? And we realize a lot of what we're doing came from like these current events, right? And then we're kind of hitting these topics, and we're having fun with it, and we're giving some good information. Some people are being impacted by it for sure, but we kind of doing now a reevaluation of what we've been doing and kind of focusing more on like what kind of niche do we want to focus on, right? And current events, as y'all all know, right? If any of y'all follow Macho on Instagram, and I mean on TikTok, following me on TikTok, we talk about this and we love these topics. But for our podcast, we're gonna take an historical, right, and also entertainment kind of aspect to kind of like show people a different side of how history could be shared, right? Or how we could look at history and kind of challenge people, which is what I call timeless content, right? We want our content, like as we're getting better in what we're doing,
Right.
to be online for years to come and be timeless, right? So we're gonna pick, right? We're gonna give you a sneak. I'll give you a sneak peek right here, and then I'll let Macho share a bit more of what of where I'm going here. But we're taking points in history, primarily in America, different eras in history, and whether that's a war, civil war, whether it's gold rush, prohibition, right? We'll leave it up in the air and how we're starting, but we're taking these topics and doing a deep dive series, and we're gonna kind of rotate that, right? So we're gonna take like thoughts from you guys, what people think, and when we do that deep dive, we're gonna be more prepared to be more educational, more informative, and also entertainment. So I feel like that's a better niche for us because we're passionate about the history, and we can be very entertaining in different ways. You merge that together, I think we got a whole revamp of the vision there. What you think about
Yeah,
that,
and I think what we also realize is that there are a lot of juggernauts in the content creating world that have a thumb on the current events. So we're not so worried. We have really good names. You know, the Brandon Smiths, Steve Crowder, Louder with Crowder, right?
man?
Tim Pool, I think his name
Yeah,
is. We
simple,
have all these people out there who are putting out good content, current event content,
for
that we're
sure.
not worried, right? We're
Yeah,
not
people won't
worried
be
that.
lacking. People will be informed on that.
Right.
Yep.
And so we're what we want is to find our niche. We've been searching for ourselves as a young podcast to say, hey, how could we evolve ourselves in a different fashion where we can talk about things less polarized and have that time and space where people could actually sit and listen to us. And I think
Exactly.
far too often today, people are not really listening.
Hmm.
They just want to be right. And
Yeah,
so
yeah,
we want to go on a deep dive. We want to, ask questions. We want to do investigative journalism. We want to do all these things and put it together and put a show together for you guys. And primarily, I want to ask the chat, how many of you want to see Savery and Macho in the same room? We want to create a
yeah.
studio, right,
Another
where
thing we're trying to create.
we
Yeah,
can come
exactly.
together and provide content from the same place. And I think that it
Yep.
would be very, very impactful to our
Hmm.
audience, Savory, right? If we're together, we're at a bar, we're
Sure.
having drinks, and we are doing exactly what our title
Hmm.
says, right? So I think
And
that's kind of where we're at.
yeah, definitely. And another thing is politics right now is at a very like it's at an interesting crossroads, right? So this is another observation I've made in um, kind of talking to Macho about this idea, and
Hmm.
Macho
Hmm.
helping me refine this idea to see how it looks, and both of us coming to grips of like, okay, this could work for us. Is there's something that I call revisionist history going on both sides, right? Both sides push agenda,
Absolutely.
political, culturally, socially, but you don't really get a good grasp of what really happened historically. So I think it would be so dope to go back in history, break some of those stuff down through the facts, right? Maybe some opinions on how we feel, but we want to always present the facts and have some fun with that. Because the more educated we are, right, we're putting ourselves right in the community with you guys. The more educated we all are, right, in these topics we're about to talk about, the better conversations we could have and impact we could have when we talk about current events. So it just still goes back to current events, Macho. I say it's just what's pretty dope.
It's just
We're just
old current events.
revamping
Yeah,
and
it's
getting that niche in. So yeah,
and we
I'm
don't
excited.
because right now the loudest voices are the ones that are heard the most.
Yeah,
Right? It's not about who's loud, who's first. Excuse me. It's not about who's right. It's about who's first, and better
exactly.
yet, it's about who's loud. Right? Who is the loudest voice? They will be heard the most. So
Yeah.
when we go back in history, we can take our time and really look into all
Hmm.
the variables and not have partisan hackery to look into, for example, prohibition. We're going to be examining prohibition through its legal aspect, through its
Hmm.
social aspect, and through its economic aspect, right?
Yeah.
Through a prism of three, we're going to be looking at things through that way, through those lens, to
Hmm.
provide you the best content we can possibly give you guys. And we want to do that for you guys. And we've Savory, we've made some really good friends along the way.
For sure.
So
Shout out to
we've
all of y'all, man.
we've
Like
made some
I see
good
Felicia,
connections.
Jeffrey in here, and we got much more.
We've
Anyone
made
who
some,
watching this not live, man, and you've
yeah.
been part, just comment, thumbs up, man, encouragement, because we excited to come
Um,
back strong. So
Roderick, we had on the show, who goes
hmm.
by Man of Justice
Yep.
on TikTok. He said this morning, Savory, right? He came on the show this morning because he said he saw me live, and he said, I want to get in here as soon as possible because I see Machos
Mm,
live and I just love politicking with him.
mm.
And it's stuff like that, man. He's probably 20
Solid.
years, he's 20 years our senior. He's an older gentleman and he wants to sit and talk to us younger guys.
Hmm.
There's generational things there, aspects there, but also that mutuality there, right? That mutual respect that these guys are doing their work. They're figuring things out for themselves. And I want to sit, and he's a great guy that we got to get to know and got to talk to behind the scenes. This guy is really, really, really informative. He knows
Hmm.
a lot of his stuff. Guys like Marlon, been able to contact, been able to
Yep.
talk to behind the scenes, who's done the diligence, who's done the
It's a
due diligence
list
to
of
work.
people, bro, on TikTok,
But
which is
I think
phenomenal. Yeah.
the guy that we really, really, really have a close connection with is AJ because he has been able
Yeah,
to
yeah.
provide his
Shout out
talents
to
for
AJ,
us.
man. Yeah.
And I've been very supportive of him because he's been willing to work with us despite the fact that we don't have a contractual agreement, nothing
Yeah,
on the
yeah.
books, nothing financial.
You the
But
man,
he was
AJ?
yeah, he's willing to work with us because it's that neutrality, and I
Hmm.
really respect other creators that are seeing what we're doing, and that there's some humility from other creators out there that are saying, "I
Yep,
see
I'm
what
with
you're
you.
doing, and I want to get alongside your vision."
Yeah.
And but there are other, but there's some nastiness to this game,
Hmm. No,
Savory,
there
and
is. Yeah,
I don't
yeah.
know if you
And
want to highlight that.
yeah, I wanted to say this, man. Like we mentioned prohibition, for example. We mentioned, but feel free, man. This video is gonna be up, all right? We're gonna put it as our main video, so anybody who comes to our page can see that we'll be right back, within the next few months
Yes,
to bring you
yes.
like solid content. Um, and as we're working on this series, fleshing out all the information. But yeah, I wanted to say, you got any ideas, right? We're thinking about Civil War, we're thinking about the Gold Rush, we're thinking about Prohibition, and we want to link all
Even
that to what's going
colonialism.
on now,
Let's
right? We
talk
don't
about
just want
colon.
to talk about history. I want people to know
Yeah.
this, Macho, here. We don't just want to talk about history just to talk about it. We want to talk about history, about things unspoken during certain eras and how it affects our era now, and maybe some similarities. So we want people to look at our show and be like, yo, that's exactly what's happening now. Or, oh, damn, they've been doing that for that long. Or like those moments is kind of what I'm
Very good.
encouraged for people to see,
Very good.
because
Yeah.
we are in our episodes, we're pretty knowledgeable when current events happens because Macho and I keep up with politics. So we would go live and we'll have fun. Now, what we want to do is we want to keep having fun, but what we want to add the extra layer is, yo, let's dive even deeper. Like we got homework to do in college, like we got a paper to write, and then let's present that information so people can have fun with us, but also know that every time they log into our channel, they're learning something new. So
And having
yeah,
a good time, right?
exactly.
We're two guys who want to have a drink, and we have a long relationship. Savory and I have been friends, and we've known each other
For a
going
minute.
back 10 years now. So,
Yeah, decade, yeah.
we like to get together, have a drink, have a cigar, have a conversation, and talking about some of the things that has happened in American history.
Hmm.
Was extremely fascinating because America is a melting pot, and we've always been fascinated by the political structure, the economic structure, our history, our historical growth, right? Where we came from, where we are today. Um, it fascinates me today, to this day, Savory, that people would ask, when was America great? And I think this is really
Yeah,
fundamental to talk about today because we want to go back to talk about today, right?
yeah.
In order to understand today, we want to go back in our history. 1865, many people can argue that America was it was a great year because
Hmm.
it was the day they changed their economic format. They were no longer going to use other people's free labor and denigrate them into be calling them property. Black
Yeah, yeah.
people were liberated. They were free. They were seen as individuals, and they
Well,
can contribute to now to the economic system, not be
yeah.
a slave to it. Right?
And Macho, the question is this, right? This is what I asked myself. It's not was only I don't even think is the country great because you even in the greatest period, you're gonna find flaws, right?
Facts.
So I
Absolutely.
tell people is as a country comparable to what's going on around the world, all right? Are people better off in America? Is the world a better place with America? Is the history, how is the history
Great
we're about to
question.
cover
Yeah.
relevant to other countries, to individuals, to black, brown, white, Asians, like all type, like let's talk about history as a whole. And then if you want to insert your ideology in what we're talking about, cool. That's your freedom. If you want to interpret that a certain way, cool. But we want to give you the history in a form of historical, accurate context, and also through entertainment and us having fun with you guys. So yeah, I
Yeah.
think I think we laid it out. This is great,
Yeah.
man. Yeah,
And I think now let's move into that phase of thank yous. Thank you to Felicia,
yeah.
uh, to
Super,
Felicia,
super. Just Felicia,
Felicia
man.
and
You
her husband Nick
appreciate that.
sent
By
us
the
a
way, we
care
got the
package.
stickers. We
Show it
haven't
off.
forgot about the
Can you
stickers.
show off? Can you show
We
off what they
got I
sent
got
us?
the big ones here and the front ones. So these are the ones we're figuring out how we're gonna use it. We got some ideas. The small ones
Look
are
at that.
open, so this is the big ones. Right. So Macho and I still need to get together. That was kind of the main thing to really strategically plan how we're gonna do it. We want to put it in our cups, right? Have it in our drinks and our laptops. So just FYI, we are on it and we didn't forget about that. I see Jeffrey on the chat. You are the man, Jeff. He's
Jeffrey's
been
been
rolling with us since the
consistent.
beginning, actually.
Yeah,
Low
he
key. Like,
has.
yeah, I
He has
forgot.
been
Yeah, yeah.
here.
That's what's up.
We've had Ninja, who's also been in. He's been a consistent viewer. Felicia
Oh
has
yeah.
been riding with us
Facts.
since the beginning. She's never left our side. I mean, she's been a solid contributor to our show. As you guys can see, she
Hmm.
sent us. Her and her husband sent us stickers, and that's when we really knew, Savory, that we're providing an impact to people,
Yeah.
and that we just don't want to provide content that just is meaningless, right, or is
Yeah.
going to the wayside. You have several times where we're putting out content that it's not getting, we're not generating views because,
Hmm.
again, already big names are covering these
Yeah.
topics, and
Exactly.
we're just adding amplification to already what's already been talked about. So we're just trying
Yeah.
to figure out, okay, how do we apply what's going on today and look back in history, try to do a deep dive. So we first off, we're grateful to all of you who watch us on a consistent weekly basis, who share our content, who talk about what we're talking about. um, I don't think we could have gone anywhere, Savory, if it wasn't for the traction
Yeah.
you've gotten on TikTok, the traction I've gotten on TikTok. I just
Hmm.
crossed 12,000 followers.
Killing it.
So
You're killing it, man. Yeah. I've
yeah,
been.
what
And I'm
where you at?
appreciate those messages.
26? Yeah,
Yeah, I'm
26,000, I
like
think it is.
26. I've been
Yeah.
inactive for the past few months or so, but I appreciate the support of people like looking out, like, yo, where you been? Yo, when you coming back? I appreciate that because it shows that we're having some kind of impact and kind of like influence on what we're talking about, right? And we're doing it not to have a personal influence, but really, yo, these topics are important, bro, for us to be knowledgeable and talk about. So, yeah, man, I could just echoing your sentiments, Macho. I appreciate everyone joining us, even the people we don't know personally, bro. Special shout out to y'all, because I know there's people who come into our lives all the time and, have good conversations or maybe some crazy conversations, but at least we're keeping the conversation moving forward. That's all we asked for in the beginning. Can we keep this conversation moving to have an impact? So, yeah, I
Exactly.
appreciate all y'all, man.
That's the whole purpose of having this podcast, is to generate and cultivate that conversation.
Exactly. Yep.
Again, far too often, Savory, people are yelling at each other, not
Hmm.
literally listening. They're listening to respond, but not actually listening. So I give it like, I'll leave everybody with this, you know, uh, uh, I had a conversation with Stitch the Truth, right,
Hmm.
on TikTok. And he came onto my live and he asked, when was America ever great? And, I have, obviously we're echoing something we previously just talked about, but it went down this line that, historically America has not been good to African Americans.
Hmm.
And to some extent that's true. But if you
Yep.
do a deeper dive, people like Thomas Sowell and Walter Williams have exposed that there has been misleading factors
Hmm.
to that statement. While that statement may be true, but that statement is also inaccurate as well,
Yeah.
because
Exactly.
ever since 1865, African Americans have been the center of political rhetoric for
Yep.
over 100 plus years. You're not going to tell me that
Hmm.
no one gives a damn about you guys if you guys are constantly the talking point of political rhetoric for every presidential
Yeah,
election.
for
I
sure.
think I think we
We
have to
ignore
be
the ebb and
honest.
flows. Yeah, we ignore the ebb and flows. Going to your final sentiments there. Like, we ignore the ebb and flows, and we want to show people a historical context of what went on, so you can come to your own conclusion with the right
Facts.
knowledge.
Yeah.
So yeah, man,
How did the
couldn't thank you enough,
prohibition,
man.
how all these things affected minorities, how did it affect all Americans, right? Right? Not just black Americans, but how did it affect all Americans? How did it affect
Facts.
the nuclear family? How did it affect or motivated or cultivated women to start voting during the prohibition period? So we're going to cover all those things, and I want to leave you guys with this, as I put in the description here. Life is a series of hellos and goodbyes, but I'm afraid it's time to say goodbye again, guys. That's the great Billy Joel there. He said that, Savory, and we'll be back.
Goodbye for
We'll be
now.
back.
Goodbye for
Goodbye
now. All
for
right,
now.
guys. We'll be right back.
Yeah.
We appreciate y'all. Much love. Drinks to the nobody. Cheers.
Cheers, y'all. Take care.